Hey guys!
Welcome back.
Today we have a heavy topic. We're talking about the rise of shootings and violence in Mississippi. I was inspired to research this topic just because I've seen a lot of violence happening in Starkville in our own community, and also in Jackson. We talked about a story from a few weeks ago that Jackson had the highest murder rate of any city in the U.S. So I figured we'd do a little breakdown and we can talk about why there are so many shootings, and also we can just highlight a few that have happened in Starkville recently. So I have a lot of sources, and I'm just going to go ahead and list them, and I might mention them later, but I want to go ahead and give a blanket thank you and statement of the sources. So we have a Clarion Ledger article by Mina Corpuz, a WLBT article by CJ Lemaster, another Clarion Ledger article by Gabriella Siza-Manowski and Niall McNair, a Pew Research Center article, a data piece from U.S. News, and a data piece from Giffords.
I feel bad because I would have totally butchered all of that, but Heather's good at pronouncing things. So.
Thank you. So while Mississippi ranks lower in national shootings and violence ratings, we have seen a large increase in crime in 2021 and even early 2022 and in 2020 as well. Just pretty much since the pandemic started, we've seen a heightened risk of crime in our neighborhoods and in our communities. And Jackson, Mississippi, like we just said, was reported to be the U.S.'s most violent city in 2021, according to analyses by both WLBT and CNN. Jackson had a record-breaking 152 shootings last year, surpassing the record-breaking year of 2020, which had 130 shootings. So this is not the type of record we want to break.
Yeah, we're breaking the bad records.
Yeah. But the violence doesn't just stop in Jackson. In 2022, we've already seen 3 shootings here in Starkville. And one particular shooting that's especially sad, I mean, they're all really sad, but a 9-year-old boy was killed. He was shot and killed while in a vehicle on January 5th. 3 men were arrested following the murder, and they each got 1 count of murder and 6 counts of aggravated assault, according to a press release from SPD Sergeant Brandon Lovelady, Starkville Police Department, And then on January 14th, SPD arrested 4 other individuals in connection with the murder. They each got 1 charge of accessory of murder and 6 charges of accessory of aggravated assault. And some of the individuals received counts for possession of controlled substances, but not all of them did. And then Starkville's most recent shooting occurred last Thursday night at the Chadwick Place Apartments on Eastley Boulevard. If you're an MSU student or parent, you definitely got a maroon alert on your phone saying there's a shooter and they're moving towards campus, and everybody was freaking out, and that was all the information that we got at the time. The Chadwick Place Apartments are really, really close to campus. They might as well just be on campus. They're that close. And so 2 individuals went to OCH Regional Center to be treated for their wounds, and they weren't life-threatening, and they were released from the hospital on Friday, but 2 people were definitely shot. And the Oktibbeha County Sheriff's Department caught a suspect of the shooting on Friday, but no further details have been released. It's been kind of an ongoing situation, so they haven't really released a lot of details, but I do know that the individuals who went to the hospital were not students. Then just going back to analyze the shootings in Mississippi as a whole and the shootings in Jackson. So the Clarion Ledger article by Gabriella Siza-Manowski and Niall McNair broke down the mid-year statistics for Jackson shootings in July. So this is July 2021. So the average age of a suspect is 26.5 years old, and the youngest age was 13. So a 13-year-old.
13?
Yeah.
Wow.
Additionally, a 14-year-old shot a 1-year-old in 2021, and the 1-year-old was the youngest victim of the year.
That's so sad.
It's so sad. The Pew Research Center conducted a study to find the increased murder rates across the country in 2020. So like I said, during the pandemic, not only has Mississippi had an increased rate of crime and violence, the whole United States has. And there are several reasons that we'll break it down in just a little bit. So Mississippi fell into the category of having a 31 to 45% increase of murder in 2020. No data has been released for 2021 yet. It usually happens in the fall. But assuming the increased rates that we've already seen in 2021, just from the data that we have, I would assume that our rates also went up, which is very sad.
Do you think that had any connection with people just having to be at home more? Probably more conflicts
arising?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something I'm going to get into later. But just like disparities of the pandemic, economic, home life, mental health, all of these things can lead to increased violence and shootings and homicides. And then according to a study by Giffords, which is a gun legislation center, Mississippi has an average of 640 gun deaths per year, ranking it in third place for gun deaths in the U.S. On average, every 14 hours, someone is killed with a gun. In Mississippi, 83% of murders are committed with a gun. Black people are 5.1 times more likely to be murdered with a gun than white people, but white people are 3.8 times more likely to die by gun suicide than black people. A lot of the shootings or just gun use in Mississippi as well is suicides. I believe it was about 48% was suicide, or 46% was suicide, and 48% was homicide. So we are also seeing just disparity of the pandemic is also making people's mental health like just the absolute worst it has been. What is the cause of all of this violence and what is the solution? I know we always are just like, okay, well, there's this and this going on, but how do we solve it? And it seems like we never see any solutions, but hopefully this year is a year that we actually see a decline. I don't want the first month of the year to already start a pattern for the rest of the year, especially here in Starkville. But, I mean, across the whole state, especially in Jackson, like, I really don't want to see an increase in shootings. According to the Clarion Ledger, about 69% of murder cases in Jackson are solved each year, and the national average of solvability is 66%. It's critical that witnesses report crime to the police or to Crime Stoppers in order to solve them. So if you witness a crime, I know this sounds dumb, but report it. I guess it might not be as common sense to some people because they might feel like they could get retaliated against or get in trouble, but you're helping solve someone's brother, someone's sister, someone's murder.
Yeah, and sometimes there's the bystander effect where people are like, somebody else will do it. I don't have to be the one to do it. Somebody else can. Mm-hmm.
But it's critical that you report any crime that you see, especially violence and murder and things like that, because it helps the victim and it helps the victim's families as well. And it also gives good data to the FBI, to local police jurisdictions and the sheriff's departments as to, how was this person murdered, how was this person injured, anything like that, which also helps to develop research for ways that we can solve the homicide rates. So anyway, that was our little spiel about that. Make sure to report crimes. Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba said in a Clarion Ledger article that he believes the rise of crime during 2020 and 2021 is due to a couple of different things. And I found some research from U.S. News to back these claims and also provide a little bit more explanation because he kind of just listed them off. So number one, like we've been saying this whole time, the pandemic created a lot of despair and hopelessness among people, especially those with mental illnesses or hardships at home. It just kind of seems like this pandemic, there's no way out of it. And a lot of people, it really caused very bad mental health problems. And also maybe just being around your family a lot more or being around people that you live with that you might not like or you might not have a good relationship with, especially if you are a victim of domestic violence. Mm-hmm. That also can lead to, of course, very bad mental health issues. And then number two would be systemic poverty. I found research that the median household income in Mississippi is $45,792, while the U.S. average is $65,712. And this also is hard because everything is so expensive now. We're seeing a rise in grocery prices. We're seeing a rise in gas prices, just a rise in everything. But if your salary is not rising along with that, then you're going to have some...
Yeah, rent prices rising as well.
Oh, yeah, rent prices too. And, yeah, everything is just more expensive. And then third, being poor education. Only 32% of Mississippians are college educated, and we rank in 43rd place from pre-K to 12th grade education and 37th place in higher education. So 43rd out of 50, not good at all. Mm-hmm. And also a way to solve this, I'm literally about to get into this, I'm kind of spoiling it, but if we keep people in school, it helps keep people off the streets. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of something that we've seen across the U.S. and something that the Pew Research Center has also researched on as well. And then lack of jobs. Mississippi comes in 50th place for employment.
Yikes.
Again, we don't want to be in 50th place for this. We want to be in 50th place for something else, like healthiest, or I don't know, I guess number 1 would be healthiest.
Yeah.
We're also not very healthy in this state, which could also maybe be linked to shootings, but I couldn't find something to back that up necessarily.
That's probably the same. I mean, we talked about mental health, but I don't think overall physical well-being probably has anything to do with that.
Yeah. And then overall, Mississippi ranks 49th out of 50th in national rankings.
Well, we're not last. Who's last?
I don't know. I wish I would have looked it up, but not good at all.
It's probably like Alabama or something. It can't be somebody else like outside the South, because we tend to have a lot of issues down here, unfortunately.
Yeah. I wonder. Oh, last place is right. Louisiana.
I knew it had to be one of our neighbors. Louisiana.
Louisiana, I guess. New Orleans couldn't save them.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're not last, but we're still not in a great position.
No. And so, in addition to the things that Mayor Lumumba is saying causes an increased rate of crime and violence, law officials say that guns are being used to solve family or neighborhood disagreements. I guess not solve, because you're not solving something if you kill someone or if you shoot someone, but, quote unquote, solve. And that's why sometimes multiple suspects are arrested for the killing of one individual. Maybe somebody will get on a bunch of people's nerves and they just kill them, or like they have a big argument or something. If you're having an argument with somebody, don't kill them.
Yeah, that just doesn't help your situation.
It really doesn't. It doesn't help anybody's situation, and then you're going to go to jail for that. And, that really doesn't help your situation.
No.
And, I don't really, I do get it, but I don't at the same time, if that makes sense. A lot of people believe that gun violence could be stopped in a couple of different ways. This is mainly research from the American Psychological Association and also a few councilmen in Hinds County, and as well as the mayor of Jackson kind of gave these suggestions. So number 1 being stricter gun laws. The American Psychological Association recommends taking guns away from high-risk groups like domestic violence offenders, persons convicted of violent misdemeanor crimes, and individuals with mental illnesses who have been adjudicated as being a threat to themselves or others. And they have been shown, taking guns away from these groups of people has been shown to decrease gun violence. Additionally, the APA says, quote, the licensing of handgun purchasers, background check requirements for all gun sales, and close oversight of retail gun sellers can reduce the diversion of guns to criminals.
Yeah, I've never understood why people are so against background checks.
Right?
I'm like, if you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't be fretting it. But if you have something to hide, then you shouldn't have a gun. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I mean, you have to have a background check for jobs sometimes.
Yeah.
So, if you, a gun can kill people, and it does. So, if you, I don't know, it's simple.
I just think it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But, we are completely different from, I'm not a gun owner myself.
Yeah,
so
same.
I can't speak from experience in having a gun. But if I had a gun, I would go get training for it. And I would make sure, is this something that I actually need? Or do I need a non-lethal weapon for that? So, pepper spray,
a taser, a knife.
That's not great. You can still kill someone
with
a knife, but if worse comes to worse. So,
yeah. And then the second way to stop gun violence is if you own a gun, keep it somewhere that no one else has access to it, especially children and teenagers. So again, when the 14-year-old killed the 1-year-old, the 13-year-old killed somebody, these are teenagers, these are children who have found mommy and daddy's gun and they decided to go take it out on somebody. Hide it somewhere.
Please,
put it in a safe. And put a code that nobody can guess. It's not somebody's birthday. Make up a code. Don't tell your kids. And don't give your young kids a gun. They have to be... I feel like
that should go without saying.
Yeah.
If you get them a gun, just get them a BB gun. They still might shoot their eye out, but it's at least not going to kill anybody.
Right. Another way to stop gun violence is to provide more resources to communities to keep people off the streets and to have good jobs. So again, going back to Mississippi is 48th in jobs. If we fix our education system, and this is another point, so improve education and keep kids in school. If we pay teachers more so that we actually have teachers to teach these kids.
Which we're working on that. I think something passed recently.
Yes.
For that, so.
That will be an upcoming episode probably. And So if we improve education, we keep kids in school, and we also provide more resources to communities, and it keeps people off the streets and to have good jobs. So not necessarily just handing somebody a job, but having programs where people can get off their feet and into jobs, maybe some training centers, things like that. And then councilmen suggest frequent community roundtable gatherings where people can offer suggestions to keep the community safe. People can also go to the meetings and just say anything that they've seen recently, voice concerns, things like that. And then a councilman also proposed a curfew for the youth of Hinds County. I don't know exactly how that would work.
Did it say the age range? What is youth technically? Is it under 18?
I would assume so. It didn't say an age range, but I mean, you can still kill people during the day.
Yeah. And but, also, people aren't going to listen to that, so I feel like that's not something they're really going to enforce, because I mean, they'd have to do something else wrong for you to pull them over, thinking that they're younger.
Mm-hmm.
Say that, I mean, if they were like 16 to 18, you wouldn't just be able to be like, yes, because I look like I'm 12, so, like, you don't know, like, just based off of that, so I feel like that's just not very effective.
Yeah. And then another point, hire more social workers to solve problems in the home before they escalate to violence or murder. And this goes also back to a lot of people have been saying that police departments should hire social workers for non-violent crimes like shoplifting and stuff like that, just to kind of assess the person and kind of see why they decided to do something. And also, if we just have social workers or therapists or psychiatrists like be able to talk to people and people can voice their concerns, we'll see a decrease in violence, and that's what the APA says.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a lot of money that we don't have for those programs right now. So, I mean, obviously, we're trying to allocate some stuff to certain things, but it's kind of hard to find the resources to get actually good people for that. I'm sure you can find some, but they're not going to probably be the best.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of, the whole system is just kind of how do we do that? We have to fix this. Well, how do we do that? Well, we have to fix that. So
I know. This is really dumb, but money is made up.
It is made up.
It is made up. I don't get why we can't just borrow an unlimited amount.
Honestly, it's a social construct. The economy is a social construct. People don't like that, but it is. When you tell people that, they're like, but no.
Yeah. I'm not actually saying this is how we can stop it. Like, this is just my personal opinion, but the economy, like, why?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. We should be able to pay people what they are worth. Okay, so going back to stopping gun violence, police officers and law enforcement officials say that we should offer larger rewards for witnesses of crimes to tell their story. That's pretty simple. You know, if you want to report to Crime Stoppers, you get a cash reward, but sometimes if you report to your local police department, you might not get a reward besides a thank you or something.
Yeah, but also if you do that, people will lie.
Oh, that's true.
And because they want money. I mean, I know they say that for a lot of things, like people are going to misuse social programs, but I mean, a lot of times that doesn't happen, but I feel like in this instance, you could say anything.
Yeah.
It's the same way that, like, people want to get interviewed on TV and start making up stuff. So, I mean, it just...
Yeah, there's kind of a give and take for all of these points.
Unfortunately,
Like, no one thing is going to solve all this. That's why there's so many different ideas. And then the last idea is to offer more financial aid and scholarship opportunities to potential college students so that we have more people going to college instead of, you know, not going to college and not having a job and then being on the streets and then being like, I'm just going to shoot somebody. And then, yeah, all of that. That's a personal idea, but also... I really do think it would help increase our higher education rate if we had more scholarships and financial aid available to those who need it.
Mm-hmm.
A not hot take, a very cold take. Well, that is the research that I found for shootings and violence in Mississippi and also some solutions. I hope that we definitely see a decrease this year. It's just such a big problem, but I don't want it to get to a point like it was in 1970. That was the highest, or 1973. I forgot the exact year. I don't have it pulled up here. But we had so many homicides that year in Mississippi. I don't want it to, it's kind of creeping up that way, and I really don't want to see that. I want it to go back down.
I really don't want us to have a story update trying to say something else terrible that's happened as a result of gun violence.
Right. Hopefully, if the pandemic winds down more this year, we will see crime wind down. Moving into story updates, USM, University of Southern Mississippi, President Rodney Bennett will be stepping down after his contract ends in 2023. Bennett is the first African American president of USM and the first African American president of any predominantly white institution in Mississippi. He has been with the university since 2013.
And if y'all remember, we were talking about him as far as
the salary
episode and just what he was being paid along with other university presidents.
Yeah, I thought that was important to note because he is a trailblazer. I mean, I'm not go there, so I'm sad to see him go, but I'm not really affected by it. Yeah. Hopefully they'll get someone good.
Yeah.
I have friends that go there, so.
Hey, guess what, guys? We have the ones that got away back.
And the ones that got away is actually, it goes hand in hand with this because I had an article assigned about the rise of shootings and violence in Starkville. Thought it would have been perfect for today's episode, but unfortunately it just kind of fell flat. But, I was able to get some research anyway on my own. So there's that.
Hey, we still got you something.
We still got you.
So that's all for that this week. Next up is Emma's Opinion Corner.
Yay!
So, our hot take for this week is that there should be an age cap for politicians.
I just want y'all to note that Emma always rolls up her sleeves when she says the hot take.
Because I just get so hot, I get heated. And also, you gotta get ready for it. Mm-hmm. It's my section now. I gotta be ready.
Yes, have the mic.
Yes, so I think that there should be an age cap for politicians.
Oh, yeah.
As I've been looking recently in the news, I've seen stuff about Hillary Clinton saying that she wants to run again, but she'll be 76 by the time it's 2024.
See, I don't think she's going to run again.
She said something about that.
Really?
Yeah, I saw a news article. Otherwise, I wouldn't be saying this.
Wow.
I didn't think she would run again.
Because I read a book from Huma Abedin, and in the book it mentioned that Hillary probably was never going to run again.
It's all speculation
but I
at
guess,
this point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're saying that. So is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They were saying something about them being running mates again, but he would be 81 in 2024.
Also, he's already been in government so long.
He's already been vice president for 2 terms under Obama, and now he's president. So I don't think he needs to be there anymore. Yeah, and he was in other stuff previously. So I'm sorry. It's not your future anymore that you're affecting, Joe Biden. I don't want you in office anymore. And also, I figured I'd mention Trump as well. He'll be 77 in 2024. So don't really want him to run again either for a multitude of reasons, but age is definitely one of them.
Right.
I just don't want them to die in office. Like, I'm sorry.
We don't need a William Henry Harrison, but he died of pneumonia. I can't even talk. He died of pneumonia, not... But anyway, yeah, we don't... No,
I just feel like at this point, and Nancy Pelosi, she's pretty old too. Mitch McConnell, he's pretty old.
Mitch McConnell is decaying in front of her eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at all these people, and I'm like, y'all are so old. How are you running the country? And it's like, I know people are like, experience. They have experience. They know what they're talking about, but do they? Do they really?
Yeah, it's so wild that our country, the average age is probably someone who's 30-something, and then all of our leaders, the probably average age is like 60-something.
Yeah, like, I don't want them to reduce, like, the thing to saying that somebody could run for president at younger than, 35? Mm-hmm. I don't want them to reduce that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you should take the actual maximum cap. There should be a cap somewhere. I don't know what that is. Maybe 65? I feel like at that point, you're still a sound mind and usually pretty good health.
Also at 65, you could still live for about 30 more years. But if the average age of an American who dies is 76, and Joe Biden will be 81 in 2024. Not saying that he's going to die before then, but he should be able to enjoy his retirement.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not saying that you can't enjoy other things in life. You can still be a part of, like, foundations. Mm-hmm. You can still be a part of other things that can better the country that you live in.
You can campaign for the next president.
You can still help out younger generations to come and younger up-and-coming politicians and stuff.
They have enough money to,
anyway. You still will have the ability to affect the future, but at least you aren't, like, the person in charge anymore. I just feel like,
Yeah, because the future is the youth, as cheesy as that is.
It is, and I'm tired of it. I really am. Yeah. I would like for the, world to exist in 20 years to come, and at the rate now, it doesn't seem like it's doing too good. So I would like for people to come in and just have some fresh ideas.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Young minds bring fresh ideas.
So, that's what I have to say about that. It's not too spicy this week, but I did have to roll up my sleeves, you know. So that's the hot take for this week. I don't know if you have any more thoughts.
Oh, I agree. That's just it.
Cool. Next up is my film review. So, guys, we have another TV series. I've decided to do just a couple of short ones because I wasn't in the mood to watch movies this week, but I started watching this one just randomly, and I was like, ooh, this is pretty good.
One more and you'll get a strike on your contract.
I'm planning on watching a movie. I'm going to watch the Old Main documentary, so y'all will get a review for that next time. But this week, we have the TV show The Sex Lives of College Girls on HBO Max.
This is on my to-be watch list.
Yeah,
it's next.
2022. 2021. I think that's when it came out. Yeah.
Get it right.
I don't remember. Anyway, it might have been at the end of 2021, but I can't remember. I'd seen stuff about it. But, you know, you get the picture. So, the plot. The plot is there are 4 roommates, and they're navigating their new freedom on the prestigious campus of Essex College, which is made up. There's Leighton Murray, played by Renee Rapp. She's the preppy mean girl, but she kind of gets that image spun in this, kind of a face of reality. She has Whitney Chase, which is Aaliyah Chanel Scott. And she is a star soccer player and the senator's daughter. We have Bella, oh god, I didn't put a pronunciation for this. Malhotra, which is...
Malhotra?
I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of things. Amrit Kaur is the actress that plays her. And she's a sexually liberated, aspiring comedy writer. They have a thing that she kind of joins. It's kind of like SNL, basically, but it's for them. They don't do like a live show or anything. They just do more like written pieces in print. But a lot of the SNL alum, they say, go from that. It's like the Tolan, I think is what they call it.
Is this in England?
No.
Oh, Essex College sounds very England. There's like
not.
an Essex...
It's not. It's just supposed to be pretty, like, prestigious. So.
Oh, okay.
And then we got Kimberly Finkel.
Oh, that reminds me of our friend Kylie Fink.
Played by Pauline Chalamet, like Timothy Chalamet. And she is the adorably innocent book nerd who's at Essex on scholarship.
That's a lot like Kylie. That's funny.
The group dynamic kind of represents the 4 archetypes that you usually get when you think of just kind of cliques and stuff. We have the mean girl, the jock, the funny one, and the nerd. Since they are usually kind of pitted against each other, you kind of assume that they're going to butt heads, but it ends up somehow kind of working. And you just kind of see a change in the environment of high school versus college. And how pretty much popularity doesn't matter what you were previously. It doesn't really matter what you did in high school before. It matters what you do in your future and present while you're in college, which I like, because that was kind of something I worried about, too, when I was coming into college. So a lot of this actually touches on stuff that you'll appreciate if you're in college. Not that you probably had all of these same experiences, but it will just kind of make you feel better about some things. That you're not the only one for some stuff.
You're not the only one. Da, 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 da.
So, yeah, this show, its main thing is dismantling stereotypes and showing you the other side of things. And I have a link below that will be in the caption talking more about that, kind of an analysis about that kind of thing. The other thing I have is an interview with the co-creators of this, which is Mindy Kaling, who's from The Office.
Love
she
her.
also did Never Have I Ever on Netflix. And then we have Justin Noble, who was a writer for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is also one of my favorite shows, for Collider.com. And I'll have that linked as well. There is quite a lot of sex in this show, as you would think. The sex life of college
It's not
girls.
very appropriate for a news podcast.
I'm sorry, but not sorry. It was pretty
that's
interesting.
that's why it's in the opinion corner.
Yeah, it's not just about that. It is some part of it, but it's not just about that.
I've heard it's really funny.
It is so, hilarious. So, this was kind of Mindy Kaling talking about it. She was saying, in response to one of the scenes in it, which it's a party that they go to, but they're nude. I won't say any more, but it's really funny. So she said about this scene, she was like, I wasn't really expecting to kind of fall into this. She says, I'm very repressed. I've been repressed since birth, so I found this show very titillating and fun, and that way to be in these scenes. And I learned so much. Our staff was filled with women, diverse women, and frankly more sexually advanced women than Justin and I, because we needed that for the show. Every day I feel like I was learning something new. Some things horrified me, and some didn't. More than any show, that's just what we learned every day. Anthropologically
Yep.
was interesting. Yeah. And I have more from that, but we don't want me to try to read out loud again.
She's had her reading quota for the day.
Yeah. So, but
we're taking turns with the brain cell right now.
Exactly. We're passing it back and forth. But there's more about that and just them kind of talking about their writing process, casting process, and everything. And I just think it's a really interesting show. I like it a lot. I watched Sex Education for Netflix. It's not anywhere the same as that at all. Not that you would think it would. I mean, it's obviously high school and college, different, but I really loved the show. I couldn't stop watching it. I ended up watching like 5 or 6 episodes in one day. So if you're looking for something pretty short to watch, there's only 10 episodes of this, and something fun, upbeat, but something that also will keep you engaged emotionally, because it's a dramedy, this is the one. Do it. Watch it.
Yeah,
don't watch it with someone else, because you might be uncomfortable.
I've heard a lot of good reviews about this. It's after I watched Veep, I have 2 episodes left. I'm so sad.
Oh my god, you're gonna cry. It's so sad at the end.
Oh, I just hate what they did to Catherine, though. Like, poor Kath.
I know.
But this is not a Veep review. That show's old.
I know, but Veep is great too if you're looking for another show
yes,
to watch. It's a little bit more of an investment, but it's not too many seasons.
There's only 7 seasons.
Yeah.
There's only 10 episodes a season.
Yeah, I know. It will crush you at the end, but it's very good.
Yeah.
Very funny. If you're into like the behind the scenes of the White House.
And it's funny, it's political,
Yeah.
it's MA. What was that word where it's like raunchy? Not raunch, I guess, maybe not a lot, but
There's some definitely language in it. I would say their insults are next level.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's very good too if you're looking for a longer investment of a show to watch.
Oh yeah, highly recommend.
Heather and I both recommend.
Yes.
So that's all for that this week.
Passing the brain cell back to me.
Giving it back to Heather.
We have the crazy story of the week. We decided, I guess this is a sad note, but it's also a monumental note, so it's not as tragic.
It's bittersweet.
Yes. So Luisa Harris, she was the first and only woman to be drafted into the NBA. She died on Tuesday in Mississippi, and she was 66 years old. I'm sure a lot of you heard about her passing away, but we wanted to bring it up in today's crazy story because she's from Mississippi. She attended college at Delta State, and the New Orleans Jazz picked her in the 1977 draft. Harris was the first U.S. women's she was on the first U.S. women's Olympic basketball team as well. She's in multiple Hall of Fames, and she is still the only woman who's ever been drafted into the NBA.
Yeah, and actually whenever she was first drafted, picked by the New Orleans Jazz, she was actually pregnant. So she was like, I'm going to pass right now. And then she ended up coming back and like actually playing. But I just thought that was kind of funny. She's like, no, I'm good right now, but I'll come play with you later.
She turned it down, but she still ended up being the first one.
But there's like a documentary listed, I think, through this link as well, if you're interested in learning more about her. I haven't watched it personally, but it seems interesting.
It came out last year, and it said that she was happy that she got to see her documentary before she passed. So I thought that was sweet, too. And this article is from Yahoo Sports by Jason Owens.
Yeah, it came across my... It came across my Twitter feed, and I was like, interesting. I just wanted to click and see, like, who it was about. And then I was like, Mississippi? Hey!
We should have put her in our famous Mississippians episode.
I didn't know about her until now.
I didn't either.
So, hey, there you go. And we actually left it on a good note this time.
Yes. Well, on that note, that's all, folks, for this week.
Yes. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Remember, we are on all streaming services.
Yes. This helps us not only go up in the ratings, but also just gives us feedback, and it can let us know what you like and maybe what you don't like about the show. And also, you can follow us on social media at On The Scene Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Make sure to like and engage with us as well, because we might have an exciting announcement coming up soon.
Yeah, possible giveaway. Ooh.
Also, go ahead and share this to your stories if you're listening. We want to see who's listening, because it just tells us a number, but it doesn't say, like, Anna is listening.
Yeah. And, like, Heather had somebody message her the other day about somebody watching it and getting her...
That just reminded me.
Her news hit and getting back into podcasts and just kind of being aware with the world.
Yes. So, also, if you message us or if you share a comment, we can start mentioning it on the
If you don't want it shared, that's fine. Just let us know. But
But this is something that she told me I could share. So this is from Sarah Herbert. She is a senior in high school. I'm kind of like, I'm not her mentor because I don't really want to assume that, but I give her advice sometimes. And anyway, so she's going to come to state next year. And she said that she used to read a lot, and she's been recently downing herself for not reading or listening to podcasts or doing anything educational like that. And she has been reading, she said, but she's just been reading articles, and she kind of counts those as her reading. But she said the first 3 things on her list that she loves to read or listen to are our podcast. So
we love that.
Yeah, and she said it's one of the only podcasts that she can stand.
Well, we're glad you can stand us.
Yes, glad we're not too annoying.
Yeah, we try our best.
Some people probably click out after the first few minutes. They're like, I've had enough.
No, I've had enough. Bye. So, yes, please contact us for that. Also, are we a part of the Reflector or something?
Maybe. I think we just like broke into the office somehow.
Yeah, I think we actually are back in the office. If y'all didn't know, we actually had some renovations done in here recently.
It looks nice.
It looks 10 times better.
Emma said
fresh.
she felt like we shouldn't be in here because it's so nice now.
I'm not allowed to be in here. I am just a little gremlin in here.
It is really fresh in here. Also, if you want to be a guest star or if you have any questions, comments, or hot takes, feel free to email us at onthescenepod@gmail.com. This could also be if you want us to mention something in the podcast. Feel free to do that. Or if you have a pitch for us for an idea.
Yeah, also if you just want to come hang out and talk to us sometimes, we're in here usually Mondays and Tuesdays for production week. It's over by the subway on campus.
Just give out our location to anybody.
Anybody can come to the Reflector office.
That's true.
So we're in here sometimes if you just want to. I don't know. I feel like I'm not important enough to be met, but if you want to come meet us and just talk.
Yeah.
About anything, we're here. So.
Yeah, we love ideas. People give me ideas all the time. I'm like, okay, noted. So just know if you've ever given me an idea for anything, it is written down. Like, it will get done. Eventually. That was a very long outro.
That was a long outro, but we're glad that y'all listened, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.